Assalamu alaikum students, my name is Miss Tavia and I am your computer teacher. Today we are going to learn about the chapter number 1, that is the nature of technology, understanding networks. In this chapter we will learn about network hardware and how the components work together, how messages are sent over the internet, what is the packet switching and what are the packets and how they are switched between routers. How do we connect to a network and about some basic knowledge about the cloud computing. I hope you people will enjoy the lecture. So let's start with the network hardware. In the previous classes you have already learned about networks. What is a network? A group of system of interconnected people or things is called a network. When we talk about a computer network, when different types of computers are connected to each other, they form a networking devices. That is known as network of computer. It's simply like a web of different computers connected to each other. Now coming towards the topic, that is what is computer hardware. A computer hardware is the physical components connected to the computer. For example, your external peripheral or your internal devices, those are connected to your computer, are known as hardware. For example, we have laptop, printers, or you can say camera, speakers, microphones, keyboard, mouse. These all devices which are connected to your computer are known as computer hardwares. When different hardwares are connected on a same platform, they make a computer network. Okay, now coming to the main topic of the chapter, that is server. A server is a computer host program or device that provides a service to another computer program and its users, also known as the client. We will learn about networks and some hardware components within this chapter, that how the server works. You will learn how messages are sent over the internet. You will learn how to connect to a computer and how to solve their problems. Now we'll look about the cloud storage in this class. When we talk about the cloud storage, in 2019, more than half, around 56% of the world's population had access to the internet. Now, 100% of the population has access to the internet. The number of people with access to the internet varies in different parts of the world. The rates are high in Europe, North America, and parts of Asia, few parts of Asia. In parts of Africa, access to the internet is still very low because of illiteracy rate and inflation rate over there. How do we use a network? When you use a computer, you're usually using a network. You may use your school network, and at your home, you people have your broadband network, which is connected, which helps you connect to the internet. But there is a main component of the internet, that is server. Server is actually the brain of the internet, which helps the clients to connect to the internet. Clients are not necessarily the people who are using the internet. Clients can be your smartphones, clients can be your laptops, it can be desktop computer, it can be a printer or any service that can be help provided by server. It can manage the files, it can there are so many types of servers which helps you to receive, store and share data. Number one is web server, which helps you to connect to the internet. Then we have the print server, which helps you to make the printed form of your soft copies. The file servers manages the files and documents within the server data. Mail server helps you to send or receive the emails. Application servers help you to maintain the applications, web applications or desktop applications on your computer system. And there are several more types of server. Now, what is the difference between the hubs and switches? We have already learned that the server stores and sends computer files and messages to users and to the devices like printer. The job of a server is to make sure files go to the person or device that they are intended to. Okay, so if we give some examples of a server, let me give you some example. It can receive a word processed file and save it to a network storage device. It can find a spreadsheet file like Excel and you ask for and send it to your computer. It helps you to receive an email from you and pass it to someone else, and it receives a request from you to print a file and send the file to the printer. There are file servers, print servers and email servers. Now coming to the topic of hubs and switches. When messages are sent across the network, they need to be sent on the correct place. Hubs and switches do this job. They work in different ways. A hub is a networking device that connects multiple PCs to a single network, whereas a switch connects multiple devices on a single computer network. This is the main difference between hub and switch. As you can see in the diagram, hub actually connects the multiple PCs to the single network. If you want to connect them to a single server, you can connect multiple PCs at same point, this point. But now if we look at the switch, the switch is used to connect multiple devices on a single computer network. Multiple devices can be connected on a single computer. When a switch receives a message, it decides which computer the message is meant for. If it sends the message only to that computer, but when the hub receives a message, it sends it to all the computers that are connected to it. When a network is busy, the extra messages a hub sends out can slow the network down. A hub is also less secure than a switch. A hacker has more chance of stealing the messages. A switch is more expensive than a hub and it's more difficult to set up because it is huge in size, but it is more secure and works faster. Now, what are the routers and modems? A router basically joins two networks to each other. Routers are usually used to connect a LAN, that is local area network, or a home network to the internet. You people must have seen a router at your home. Okay, it looks something like this. Now, if we talk about the modem, modem stands for modulator demodulator. It actually translates the data sent through the router from one network to another. A modem is connected to an internet service provider, the company which provides us the internet, that is like PTCL, which a router creates a local area network. What does a modem do? It is a modulator demodulator. When a router passes the message, it passes the message to the modem in digital signals. Modem translates those digital signals into analog signals that human being can understand. Digital signals are ones and zero because our computer understands the binary language. Now, coming to the wireless access point, WAP. Most modern networks allow wireless connection. This means that devices like laptops and tablets can connect to the network without having to use a cable. It is cable-less, it is wireless. A wireless connection needs a special piece of hardware that is called WAP. WAP is connected to your router and provides you wireless access to your internet. A wireless access point is a networking device that allows wireless capable devices to connect to a wide network. It is simpler and easier to install WAPs to connect all the computer devices in your network than to use wires and cables. You people have noticed that when there is a WAP connected at your home, okay, so so many of you can connect it through a Wi-Fi. There is no limit of connecting, but there should be a bandwidth, there should be a clear fine line between how many people can connect to your network. These things can be divided by the internet service provider. Whoever is providing you the service, internet service, they will attach the WAP at your home. Now, coming to the next topic, that is network interface card. A network interface card, also known as NIC, allows a computer or other devices to connect to a network. Most devices come with an NIC fitted. A standard desktop or laptop computer will be fitted with two NICs. One allows a network cable to be plugged in and the other allows a wireless connection to be plugged in. This is an NIC and it is an essential component of a computer that connects it to the network. If you don't have an NIC connected in your CPU, then you cannot connect to a network. It enables data to be sent and received with the computer and other devices like routers, switches, hubs, etc. Now, how do a network fits together? There are three things that fits the the network with each other. Number one is router, number two is modem, then comes the switch, and then the wireless access point. A router, we have already learned about it, that a router connects your home to the internet. A modem converts the signal that pass along telephone or broadband cables into digital data your home networks can use. A switch makes sure that messages coming into your home are sent to the correct computer. And a WAP, the wireless access point, lets you connect to the network wirelessly with the help of Wi-Fi anywhere at your home. Now, what is local area network? LAN stands for local area network. It is much bigger than a home network. We have a small setup of a home network, then comes the LAN, the local area network. But it contains the same components. Those are the router, switch, hub, or hub is usually used in wide area networks, not in local area network. But switches are used in local area network because it sends the data to the intended computer. Okay, so the same things are used. The modem is used, the router is used, the WAP is used in setting up a local area network. These are actually belong to a building size or office or a home. Okay, these can be connected to the office, home. Okay, it's a collection of devices connected together in one physical location, such as building, office, or home. A LAN can be small or large, ranging from a home network with one user to an enterprise network with thousands of users and devices in an office or a school. Okay, so to connect a LAN, you need copper cables or fiber optic cables. Nowadays, fiber optic cables are usually used. Copper cables is the most common cable in a network. Networks use twisted pair cables made up of pairs of thin copper wires twisted together that is sent along copper cables as pulses of electricity. If we talk about the fiber optic cable, it is made up of thin strands of clear fiber or glass that is sent along fiber optic cables as pulses or light. Fiber optic cables are expensive and longer in size. Copper cables are not that much reliable and they are shorter in size. Nowadays we use fiber optic cables. These are some advantages and disadvantages of fiber optic cable and copper cables. Copper cables are now not widely used. They are expensive, they are long, they passes the data within analog signals. If we talk about the fiber, then its speed is really high. Its speed is of like a light. Okay, it's expensive. It's also long. It can break easily. Okay. Now, have you ever seen a server room or a hub room? This is how it looks like. In the big companies like Google, like Microsoft, which provide you the cloud computing, their data is saved in their server rooms or hub room, and they look like this. They consist of huge buildings. So at the center of a network is a server room. The room is usually air conditioned because it gets heat up. There are so many computers that gets heat up easily. This is because computer equipment makes a lot of heat. If it gets too hot, the equipment may break down. The server room contains all the servers in the network. It also contains hubs and switches. All the server means it can be a file server, it can be a web server, it can be a printing server, all type of servers which we have already learned. When a computer is plugged into a network socket, it is connected to the network. It sends messages along a cable to the hub or switch. The hub or switch passes the messages from many devices to form a server. If you talk about the hub room, sometimes you need to connect the area of a building to a network that is more than 100 meters away from the server room. This can't be done without the copper cable. The electrical signal won't transmit that power. So a hub room is set up close to the area that is going to be connected to the network. A hub room does not contain servers, it only has switches and hubs. Every network socket is the distant area is connected to the hub or switch in the hub room. The hubs or switches in the hub room are connected to the main server room using a fiber optic cable. Using a fiber optic cable means that the network can be more than 100 meters from the server room. Now, the next chapter, the next unit is 1.3, that is sending messages over the network. We all know that how do we send a message over a network? The data is being sent over a network in the form of digital data. The digital data is the form of ones and zeros. A computer stores all files as digital data made up of zeros and ones. It sends every file across the internet in the same way. In this lesson, we are going to build a model. You will learn to how messages are sent over the internet. When you have completed the model, it will look like the one in the diagram. Okay, this is how the packet switching works. The data is sent over the router in the form of packets. It's same like when you send some packets to the courier services. When they collect the packets, they just assemble them according to the area. Okay, area accordingly, then they send it to the they send it through the rider. Okay, the particular area riders are fixed, and they send that packet through the rider to that area. Similarly, the computer works at same. When we write a message, let's suppose it's of 500 words. It's an email and it contains of 500 letters. Okay, it will not send the whole email at a time. It will distribute it into small packets, and then after sending it to the router from one place to another, on the next another router, it will collect and submerge all the packets, and then it will be shown to you. This all happens within seconds. That's why we don't just note it. Okay, so in networking, a packet is a small segment of a larger message. Data sent over computer networks such as internet is divided into packets. These packets are then recombined by the computer device that receives it. So A computer does not send message as a single section of data over the internet. Any file that you send over the internet is split into smaller sections before it is sent. The small sections are called packet. Many thousands of packets are sent if you are sending a photograph or another large message. Each packet is addressed to the person receiving the message. Each packet is numbered so that the message can be put back together in the right order. But what do a router do in this whole process? We have already learned that the router is used to connect the school or home network to the internet. Every packet in the message will pass through the router one after the other. When you use the model, you will move the packets onto the router box before they are sent. Okay, and what do a server do between that? A server joins, the server in the job of the server is to send files over a network. When you send a message over the internet, it is split into packets. Each packet travels in steps across the internet, jumping from one server to another until it reaches the destination. How do a packet travels through internet? The packet gets routed to this destination by various networking devices such as routers and switches. When the packets arrive at their destination, the receiving device reassembles the packets in order and can be used to or display the data. You can see in this picture, from the computer we have sent the message and now they have been converted into different packets, and now they will be submerged on this router and will be displayed on this computer. Okay, now sending message as simulation 1.4. What is the meaning of simulation? Simulation means to show the experiential data, that how packets actually move. Okay, so already I have shown you in the previous image that how packets are being switched. Okay, so packet switching is the transfer of small pieces of data across various networks. These data chunks or packets allows for faster, more efficient data transfer. The components of the packet which are important are: number one, in packet switching, number one, the address; number two, the sequence number; and number three, the total number of packets. Talking about the address of the person is the message is being sent to. What you send an email, when you send an email, you must always add the address of the person you are sending it to. When your message is split into packets, each packet must contain the address. Then if we talk about the sequence number, what is the sequence number? The sequence number of the packet, you saw in the simulation that packets can arrive at their destination in the wrong order. The sequence number allows the receiving computer to sort the packets into the right order. And now the last is the total number of packets. The receiving computer uses this information to check if it has received all the packets or not. If any packets are missing, the computer sends a message back to the sender and asks for them to be resent. This is done automatically, so you don't have to resend the whole message. Okay, but if the packet lost, how can we manage it? Whenever a packet is lost, it will be there will be an incomplete information sent to the other router from one router. Okay, and you have to resend it. Now 1.5, unit number 1.5, that is connecting to a network. There are several types or several ways through which we can connect to the network. Number one is wired, number two is wireless through Wi-Fi, and number three is mobile phones. If we talk about the wired network, they are also known as Ethernet connection. They have physical wires in it. You cannot move your computer as it is connected to data point with cables. Okay, like this is the internet provider service. It sends the data to the modem, and then modem sends the data to the router. Remember, the modem translates the data into digital to analog and analog to digital signals. Okay, and then the router, which is connected physically with the help of cables to your desktop computer or your computer device, it sends the data over there. So it is not feasible because we cannot move our computer anywhere. We have to just sit at one place and do the work because the cables connected to it are not that much large. Okay, now if we talk about the wireless network, it is also known as a Wi-Fi network. Signals are sent over wireless access point. No cables are needed. It can be available at public places, and when it is available at public places, it is known as hotspot. Okay, This is how it works. Internet provider sends the data to the modem and then to the router. Now router is wirelessly connected to your computer or other device. It can be connected to your smartphone, tablets or your computers wirelessly. Bluetooth is also an example of a wireless network. Okay? Now coming to the mobile network, mobile phones, smartphones can connect to the internet using a mobile phone connection. A connection can be made anywhere there in a phone signal. It can be provided by the mobile phone carrier holder. This is a mobile tower. This is a mobile tower. This is the company which provides them the internet. Cell number A, cell number B, they all are connected to different mobile towers. Now, how to connect to a network, to the home network or a school network? If we talk about the home network, we just don't need to enter any login information. There is a network key and a security key at your wireless access point or your router at the back side of it, and you have to just once put it into your connection and it will be stable. Okay, the connection will be established. But if we are working in a school network, then there is a login information which you have to enter, that is username and password. Every time you log into your school network, you have to enter the details to connect to the internet. Okay, this is the main difference between home network and school network. Now, solving the network problems. Obviously, whenever we are connecting the network, there must be some issues with the network. Okay, if the internet service providers are not working well. So this is number one. Stay safe working while electrical equipments, because it is very dangerous to directly touch the equipments. You can have some current from it. Okay. Make important notes means you can save your password or username or network key if you are working at home and in some diary or note it down somewhere. So if you don't remember it, you can just check out and enter the input login information. Remember your username and password. Again, you can make the notes for it. Check the cables if you're connected to a wired network. If your computer is connected to a wired network, then you have to check the cables. कोई fault तो नहीं है. If there is any fault, then you have to make sure that it works properly. Check Wi-Fi button on computer if you're connected to a Wi-Fi. If you're connected to a mobile network or Wi-Fi network, then you have to check that your Wi-Fi is connected or not. Check router connection if you're connected to a home network. At your home, your router is the main hub through which your computers are connected. If router gets some fault, then there will be problem on connecting the internet, so check for it. Okay. Now, the last lecture from this is in the cloud. Cloud means this is not the cloud which we see on the sky. If you have ever noticed, the clouds are very huge. That is why this cloud term is used for data centers. Clouds are already known as data centers because they save our data and files in this. The cloud is a term used to describe the internet. The cloud is a metaphor for the internet. When you use a metaphor, you are saying that the internet is like a cloud without using the word like. Saving a file to the cloud means saving the file to the internet. Everything you do in the cloud involves data storage. When you save file in the cloud, it is stored on large storage devices. The storage devices are held in data center. Our data center is very huge in size. They are also known as server rooms. Okay, and it has several servers. Data center often has its own buildings. What services are provided by cloud storage? Cloud storage is a mode of computer data storage in which digital data is stored on server in off-site locations. The servers are maintained by third-party provider who is responsible for hosting, managing, and securing data stored on its infrastructure. Examples of the cloud storage are Google Drive, Dropbox, iCloud, OneDrive, and some of them are also the cloud storage example, but these are widely used, in which Google Drive and Dropbox is widely used. OneDrive is under Microsoft. Dropbox is also Microsoft's product. Google Drive is Google's product. iCloud is Apple's product. Okay, they all are used to save data, but we have to purchase some limit of that data which we are going to save. Okay, so we have to purchase it. Yearly premium purchasing hoti hai. Now, what are the advantages and some disadvantages of the cloud computing? Cost efficiency means you have to pay for it, and it's not that much expensive. It's starting from $1. Okay. Scalability and flexibility means it's very huge in size, so you can save all type of data in it. Either it can be a video, it can be a music, it can be a file, it can be a document, it can be anything that you can save in your computer. Okay. Accessibility and mobility means you can access it anywhere sitting on a laptop. Let's suppose I have worked on my laptop and I have saved it on a cloud computing website service, and now I want to access it in the school. So I can access it easily by just entering my login information of Google Chrome. Okay? Then we have the enhanced security. It is secured. We cannot just nobody can peek it unless they have our ID login informations. Okay? Disaster recovery and business continuity means if for God forbid, अगर हमारा laptop खराब हो जाता है, let's suppose our laptop has some fault or our computer has some fault, and it's अब वो बन भी नहीं रहा, it's खराब हो गया, ठीक है, now I have to access my data. So sitting in my school, sitting in my office, I can just use anybody's computer, and by just entering the login information, I can access my data or recover my data easily. Data privacy and security concerns. थोड़ा सा जो इसके अंदर एक डिसएडवांटेज है, दैट इज डेटा privacy. If somebody have my login information, they can peek in it. Okay? Account or service hijacking. If your account is hijacked, if your account is hacked, then all of your data can get lost. Okay? Insecure interfaces and APIs means there are several APIs which can through which we can access our hidden data. Denial of service attacks. Usually, most of the time when the internet service is not working, then we cannot access the data. So it's a denial of service. Technology vulnerabilities, especially in shared environments. Okay, when we have a shared environment when so many people can use are using a single laptop or single computer, then there is a vulnerability that you can peek into the another person's private data. Okay, so here is the end of the chapter. I hope you people have understood this chapter very nicely. See you people inshallah again in the next class. Hope you Allah Hafiz.